welcome to Podcast Soundscape, the show where we talk about stuff. I'm one of your hosts, Zach Martin,
And I am the other host, Fox Lopez.
and today we're talking about Persona 5. But first, I have a question.
What's
So,
up?
Fox, I need your opinion on this. Is meatball and fruit?
Depends on your definition of a fruit. Does it got seeds?
I don't know. Does it do? Hold on, let me look this up. Does Jamie? Can you look that up?
Yeah, Jamie.
I forgot. We didn't hire anyone.
Jamie
I'll
died.
look it up. Does meatball have seed? Well, the internet is giving me no secure answer, so let's talk about Persona 5. Maybe
Great
that has
idea.
our answer.
Persona 5 definitely has the answer to that question.
Is meatball and fruit? Let's find out with Persona 5, which was a JRPG released in 2016 for North America, right?
2017 for North America, 2016 for Japan.
Okay, I thought it was 2016. Okay, but yeah,
Stupid.
it's a video game.
It is a video game, a very good video game.
Well, of course, it's a great video game. So it's on the PS3. Playing that on the PS3 would just feel wrong.
Yeah, the PS3 kind of sucks.
Well, it's not that, but playing a game like that on the PS3 would just like I said, it would just feel wrong. It's a game that's meant to be played on the PlayStation 4.
It really is. I like PlayStation 4 better.
I think it's one of the shining PlayStation exclusives, up there with Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. I think
sure.
it's not as talked about because it's something you got to be really into JRPGs to and fully just accept. This is a really stupid plot.
Yeah.
But it's like Star Wars. You just got to accept that, move past it, and just be I'm gonna accept the game for what it is. And for what it is, it's an amazing game. It's in my top 5, and I haven't even fully played it.
You're almost done, which is pretty much enough.
I'm 98% of the way there. I need to beat the final boss. I don't even know what the final boss is. I thought it was Shido, and then it was just and there's 4 final. How many forms did he have? He beat me
He has
each of his
3.
forms killed me at
actually,
least
4.
once.
He has 5 in Royal.
Because there's there's the temple first, which is weird. Then
No,
there's
the lion
what
was
does he
first.
turn? Oh, lion was first, right? I thought it was the temple first.
It's lion. I forget the second
'Cause
form. Then a big pyramid. Then the buff. Then Giga Swole bursting
No,
out
because
of
there's
chest.
only 4. Because the way you're describing it, there's 5, but that wasn't in a
Oh.
row. Because there's Bane, and then there was Super Saiyan. Because I call him Bane in one of his faces because he looks like Bane from Arkham Origins.
Oh, maybe there is 6 in Royal. I might be. I could have sworn there's 3 where he was on a giant something.
I know there's the pyramid because there was at first only physical attacks and only magic attacks. But we saved the bosses for later in this wonderful podcast. So general discussion. Let's talk about Persona 5. It's the 5th Persona game.
No, it's the 6th.
Is it actually?
It's actually the 6th. There's 2 Persona 2s.
It's like Kingdom Hearts 3. It's calling that the 3rd game when it's hold on, let me think. It's at least it's the 10th. It's the 10th because there is technically
Technically
9th. It depends on what you count as a Kingdom Hearts game, but we're not here to talk about Kingdom Hearts. We're here to talk about Persona 5.
Yeah, if we're counting all 16,000 Persona spin-offs, then
All the games have the spin-off still.
and the animes and the whatever's in the manga.
Well, let's just call it Persona 5, the whatever it is Persona game.
Oh yes, Persona 5, the original, not Royal.
Yeah, now we're not talking about Royal. Fox over here has played Royal. I have yet to play Royal. I'm looking forward to playing it though whenever I get it. But
Yeah, you better get it. Great game.
he tells me it's good. I'm not sure if I should take his word for it.
You shouldn't. I'm kidding.
You're right. One of us tells the truth, the other lies. That's the whole point of this podcast. We both say the same thing, but one of us tells. Wait, if we say the same thing and one of us tells the truth and the other one tells a lie, doesn't that make it true regardless, or does that make it a lie
I
regardless?
think it's a paradox.
I was about to say that sounds like a paradox to me.
Sounds like a paradox to me.
I think we just discovered a new paradox.
We were looking for the answer to is meatball and fruit. We got a paradox instead.
That's what happens when you try and figure out if meatball is and fruit, and we haven't even gotten to our general discussion about this game.
What do we even include under general discussion? My notes just say music.
Yeah, well, because the soundtrack to Persona 5 is, I think, one of the best videos. It's in my top 3 personally. I would rate Kingdom Hearts 2, Xenoblade, and then the original Xenoblade Chronicles, and then probably this one because it's such an amazing soundtrack. Honestly, it's one of the highlights of the game, especially the casino.
Oh hell yeah!
And Last Surprise, I played Last Surprise at full volume. Why is nobody laughing?
It's so funny, you guys.
It's yeah, the music in this game is like absolutely amazing. It's like I obviously one of the highlights, except the Mementos theme. It gets into my head, and I just think about it when I'm doing regular boring tasks, and it makes me mad. It makes the Mementos theme makes me upset. I'm like, I just want to get this done so the theme will stop playing in my head. But I think the music really adds to it because I mean, gameplay wise, is there gameplay wise?
We skipped story.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot that's something we're doing for later. But so general discussion about Persona 5 is the music is absolutely amazing. The graphics, they're cel shaded, right? That's how you would describe them.
I don't know graphics.
I believe the term is cel shaded because
I'm gonna
it
say
makes it look.
is going from looking at Royal's like artwork, and then looking at original 5, it looks so bad. Like
The original 5?
the original 5 art doesn't look good in comparison to Royal. It's actually
I thought
really
I
funny.
mean, and I think it's a game that already looks pretty good. It's really imaginative with its designs of the enemies
It
and even
is.
like your attacks. It's an imaginative game, and that's what I like. It kind of doesn't limit itself by anything, which is something that makes it really
You'll
good.
see. Once you play Royal, you'll see what I mean about the art. Especially
Yeah, something I'm
Morgana.
interested in once I
Especially
play
Morgana.
Royal.
Morgana got a
Oh
huge
god,
glow up.
this stupid cat.
The cat.
I still refuse to believe that that's a cat. That makes me uncomfortable.
Spoiler alert, it's not.
It's a human though. Does he even turn into a human like in the original at all?
Originally he doesn't. In Royal, he's a human for like not long.
That arc just doesn't go anywhere. The
He
game's
does
also
discover
like
who he is. He does discover who
Ah.
he is.
the game's also like really long.
Yeah.
I'm like 90 hours in and I'm not even like done with it, and I've had 90 hours in it. It's long, but even if you focus on just the story, which you shouldn't do because then you'll have like really bad social links and you'll get annihilated by everything.
Mhm.
Because I wouldn't call the game hard, but it also isn't easy.
It's the original is a good mix of hard and easy. I think Royal is easier besides the new last dungeon, palace, whatever.
Oh, okay, that's interesting because like it's like I only had to switch it back down from medium on the Madarame fight, but like you did too, and you're a pro
Yeah.
at this stuff. I'm not as good at turn-based RPGs. Normally, I don't beat them, which is evidenced by the fact that I've not beat the game. But still, we're one of the few Persona 5 fans who's played the game at all.
Don't mess with us, Persona 5 fans.
The
We
5
haven't
fans.
played Persona.
We haven't even played the game.
They just watch Let's Plays and say, well, I guess I beat Persona 5.
At least I didn't do that. At least I made it genuinely to the end.
Almost.
Well, okay, almost. We don't need to talk about that. As far as our wonderful 2 listeners know, which is you and me, I beat it. No, that's good. Listen to this podcast. All right, so let's get into story, I guess now, because
All right.
general discussion, music good, graphics good.
Alright, let's start with the beginning. Joker got
Not like
arrested
not-
for simping.
Man, he straight up got arrested for simping. It's like I like how it kind of appeals to like the idea of I'm going to turn it to an English teacher here, like the idea of like youth actually being able to change something
Yeah,
against the corruption against adults.
Rebellion's a big part of Persona 5.
Because I mean that's pretty much how all the personas get released, and that's like terrifying when like they rip off the mask and it's like blood. Ugh, that makes me uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, the Awakenings are very good.
It makes me very uncomfortable. But like the story, I think is like one of the top points, and how the character interactions and how they all flow with each other.
Mhm.
Like some
The
of my
only thing
like,
I don't like about the story is the part where Morgana and Ryuji have that stupid argument.
yeah, and then like Haru before Haru becomes playable, right? Like right
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that
yeah,
in the space station. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's like the one part that made me hate Morgana. Like I never really had anything against him. That was like the one I think only actively bad part of the story.
Yeah, that whole thing was a mess. They don't fix it. They make it slightly better, but it's still bad.
That sucks. But like it's like that's the only part of the game that I actively did dislike, other than like a few. I wouldn't say that only part that I actively dislike because I still had some more issues with it. I guess I can talk about it in story. I wasn't a fan of some of the palaces, like the cruise ship. Its repetitive nature. I liked the idea of having to go and fight all like the different mini bosses, like Shido, and then seeing their
Yeah.
interactions with him in real life afterwards. But I didn't like the idea of just crawling through the hallways with difficult enemies and like almost no save room until afterwards.
All right. So Royal does fix this by making the mouse sections more enjoyable.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which
Like
was
I
my
said, I
only
haven't.
complaint about the palace in the original. Being a mouse
Yeah,
sucked.
and it just kind of felt repetitive, like just going from just going through over and over again. But I really like the ending of that palace.
Oh,
We're in
yes.
story, by the way. There's going to be some spoiler alerts, by the way. We forgot to say that beforehand, but
Oh, yeah.
we already spoiled some of it. Just that you turn into a mouse.
Spoiler
But,
alert: Joker dies.
But I was like shocked by that because I was at that part like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, why is he dead?
Why is he dead?
He's not supposed to do that. I thought because you told me there was a bad ending at that part, and I thought I got it. I was like, oh no.
No.
I was really
bad-
surprised. Also, there's a massive spoiler alert coming up. So if you do not want the game to be spoiled, I would have turned away. I was surprised that Akechi too turned out to be the traitor,
Okay, if you've played Persona 4,
which I haven't. You know this. Why would you bring this up? You know I haven't. You know it's a sensitive subject, man.
there's a villain in Persona 4 called Adachi, who's also a detective, who also
Oh, you
sounds.
spoiled that for me.
I mean, that one's not hard to figure out.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm stupid, so it is when you're of my intellectual quotient. That's what IQ stands for. Don't quote
Honestly,
me on that.
If you played Persona 4 after playing Persona 5, you would have instantly made the connection of the Adachi Akechi thing.
Well, I didn't want to make the connection. Goro Akechi is like the best.
He is. He's better. Royal made him better than Adachi.
But like, dude, imagine just like having this master plan that you've built up for so long, only to have it ruined because you once said, because you said once, I thought I heard something about delicious pancakes.
Nice.
Like, imagine if he did not say that, he would have gotten away with it. That's
Man's just wanted pancakes.
like imagine just a pancake, and then in Royal, he's like pancakes. I don't want to hear that word
again.
for a long, long time. That's like the worst thing that could happen. Just because you want it to sound nice to your like arch enemy, you're like, I want the pancake. I almost said meatballs.
Meatball.
I thought I heard someone say something, but we still haven't had the answer. Persona 5 has not answered the question if meatball is and fruit.
We'll figure it out later. What
But
else about
let
the
me think
story?
of other like minor nitpicks I had in the story. Like there's Akumura's palace. I kind of liked the puzzle at the end, even though it like took me some figuring out
Oh,
to do, like
really?
with the floating in space.
All Persona fans
Yeah,
hate
'cause-
that. Like, I'm not even joking. Everyone...
I don't like. Like I thought it was cool, like just floating through space. It's something like I just killed all the enemies and just trial and errored my way through. It took me like 30 minutes, like to get through like
Yeah.
the last section of it. But, like I think my favorite palace was definitely the
I had a guide
casino.
for that part because I'm stupid.
I can't remember if I had a guy for that, but like my favorite palace was easily the I liked all of them a lot except for well, I liked all of them, their design, but purely from a design standpoint and gameplay standpoint, I love the palace. Or wait, the
Which
casino.
palace? Which
the
what?
casino. Although I liked all of them, I loved like the castle. How like even though that took like 30 hours to get
The
through.
castle is long.
Yeah, that was a lot because I was so surprised because I like when I left it for the first time, I think I was like in the church, the chapel area,
Oh,
and I was
mini-boss.
like yeah, right after the mini boss because I was exploring around. I'm like, I don't have any SP and no HP, and it's not like leveling up restores it. That's another nitpick I have. Like Xenoblade fixes this. It's a
Really?
nitpick I have with really all JRPGs that don't do it. It's like leveling up should fully restore your HP and mana, in my opinion.
There is a skill that does that, but it's like an endgame Persona skill. It's called Victory Cry, I'm pretty sure.
Like because
But
Octopath does that, which I'm playing through right now. Obviously,
Okay, but if
FF12 didn't do that.
I'm going to say this right now. If any Persona game did that, actually 2 did that. If any Persona game did that, it would be really, really easy.
Yeah, what I mean, it's not like because Xenoblade after every fight you fully regen your HP.
In Persona 2, you restore HP and SP by walking around.
Like I'm talking about like only when you level up. That's just a nitpick I have of all JRPGs. Like because back to what I was saying, I left the chapel. I was like, I'm like 15% done with this palace, and then with Madarame, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head out. I still have plenty of time. It's
Honest-
like we're about 75% done. I'm like, I've been in this palace for 3 hours. You stupid cat.
Yeah, they kind of want you to like divide up palace work so it doesn't feel like one enormous chore.
And then like the other mistake I made is I would fight the bosses like as soon as I could and not wait and like get all my gear ready, all that good
Oh
stuff.
yeah, you gotta prepare.
Because the only thing I was like, if I get stuck, I want to be able to like go out and grind. That was my mindset. But I realize now that I didn't need to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to grind for Persona 5. Unless you're playing the original Persona 5 and you're fighting Madarame.
Yeah, I didn't grind for that, but I thought like all the stories and like I liked, but the one thing that provided a lot of like tension and questioning for me, like especially with Akumura. Once again, massive spoilers coming up. When I found out like his death, like I knew that what it was building up to because I made a hypothesis about that.
A hypothesis?
I did. I pulled a Goro Akechi, and I knew it was coming, and I was so scared like to see it happen. Like the tension that does is really like good.
Yeah, that was a nice part. We're going to Disneyland. Oh wait, my dad's dead.
Yeah, that's pretty much an entire plot of that. Like we're going to Japanese Disneyland. Yay! It reminds me of the song you probably know, but "Hey Man, Nice Shot" by Filter. It reminds me of that.
I do not know that.
Because it's about a politician who shot himself on live TV.
Oh dang. Well,
And it reminds me of that. Like, and the idea that whole thing was a setup, and like watching God, what was the principal's name? Big man, Kingpin. I'm calling him Kingpin.
I call him. I don't remember what his name is.
It's sort of like
It's
a
like
W
Kabaya,
or something.
It's like I thought it was like
Kabayakawa, that's what it was. Like his death scene too. That was like so much like all the it's a game with a lot of tension behind it. I think the story is definitely like one of the highlights, if not the highlight. But we're getting more into it later when we talk about confidants.
Yes.
And characters, their interactions with each other. That's another major selling point of the game.
The story is great.
Yes, the story is amazing. One of the highlights. It's a game obviously we both highly recommend you check out. And now we're on to a gameplay. So honestly, how does Persona 5 play? I don't think it does.
The combat system in Persona 5 is so refreshing.
Yeah, it reminds me of the one in Octopath, like having to exploit weaknesses.
Whoa, you exploit weaknesses? That's crazy.
Wait, did bosses have weaknesses? I forgot. I can't remember any that had that had weaknesses. That was an awkward silence right there. But like,
I don't remember either.
No, but I like the idea of like
parts had weaknesses.
Right. I remember that because I remember having to exploit
and the
that.
Akuma bots.
Yeah, I like the idea of like having to exploit weaknesses, and then it's something obviously like I said that reminds me a lot of Octopath, but like in memorizing when you're gonna go, and especially I think the combat in 5 gets better. Like this is a very minor nitpick, but it's like a major plus to like having to actually like level up your social stats to make combat easier, like being able to switch out party members mid combat, which saved my life in the Goro Akechi fight and the Shido fight.
Yeah, that ability's life. I love that ability.
It's definitely a major plus, definitely. Although the one thing I'm not a fan of like gameplay and combat wise is that if Joker dies, it's game over.
Yeah, I can see why people have a problem with that.
Because like, because he's not even like, it's not like FF Final Fantasy 12 where you just play as the main character you've chosen. Like, and even then, if you die, it's not like, it's game over. It's just like you play as other people in the combat. That was a minor issue I had with it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's one of
it's
one of those things.
Because I forget what fight it was, but it was like I think just a really standard like random encounter fight, and I was the enemy had an ability. It was like one of those things that can like one shot if it hits you, but it doesn't have a high chance of hitting you. It was like it was a party wide thing, and it missed everyone except Joker. And I was like, well, guess I'll die then.
I know exactly what enemy you're talking. Is it Anubis?
It could have been. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, insta kills are fun.
It's a major fun. It's fun to do.
It's fun to do.
Cool Cat should have been a playable character in Persona 5.
What Cool Cat's persona?
What would it?
Cool Cat's persona. The Cool Cat would have been a persona. Cool Cat would
have been. That's what I was about to say.
Daddy
He would have been a
Derek's
persona. You sure. My God, that would have been Goro Akechi's persona is Cool Cat.
Goro Akechi can use multiple personas, so he just whips out Cool Cat.
Yeah, dude, that was.
That
would be amazing.
Pancake.
That was really unnecessary, and I'd appreciate it if you never did that again.
Okay.
The voice of defeat. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
More gameplay. So outside of combat, you really the whole point is like
bait and pass, all out attack.
Yeah, I thought you were saying bait and pass. I was like, what baton pass? Yeah, that and then crawl through castle. It also kind of plays as a stealth game, like sneaking and hiding in the shadows. I didn't know.
You could go guns blazing and just use that item that reduces pal security.
Oh yes, you could also do that because that's fun.
Just go guns blaze.
No, I love also in the gameplay. Like obviously with the night and day mechanics, you can only do so many activities per day, and by so many I mean 2. If you,
I go outside, I play baseball. It's nighttime.
An entire day has passed. It's like you go outside like to do the batting cages because I think that really helped up one of my stats or something.
Yeah, proficiency.
I was like, I've hit 5 baseball. 1 day has passed. It is now nighttime. I made coffee, which is something that in real life took me 30 seconds this morning. 1 day has passed. Like, but I like the mechanic of like really having to pick and choose like what you're gonna do with your day, how you're gonna spend it. It made me think about real life and
yes, time management is a very fun strategy video game thing.
It's a fun mechanic in real life. I wish they would nerf it.
I too.
Please nerf.
I can't wait for Persona 6 where I have to file my taxes to fuse personas.
The main boss is the tax collector.
The final boss is the IRS.
No, that's the final boss, the IRS office nearest you.
Goro Ketchi commits tax fraud.
Making us tell us.
You cut out like whatever you were saying. Like,
well, you know what? Let's hope that it doesn't happen in the podcast.
Oh, okay.
But what are some more gameplay mechanics? Because we have the combat, the crawling around palaces, the having to obviously it plays like a standard turn-based JRPG with having except with the added caveat of having to break enemy weaknesses and stuff.
Guns. We also have guns.
Yeah, that too. That dude like no damage. The first like ever like encounter the game throws you, I was like, I have a gun and I just shot him to death. I was like, this is the greatest game I've ever played. It was yeah, and then I tried to use it like once I got to Kamoshida's palace. I was like, oh, this is completely worthless.
Gun.
It's like, what do you think would hurt more? Getting hit by a pipe or like getting punched by Makoto, or Ryuji shooting you with the shotgun? I mean, I don't have any personal experience with being shot, but like
Neither do I.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we'll never know. Just like if
we'll
meatball
add
is
that to our
fruit.
mysteries we gotta solve later.
Add that to mysteries. And now I think it's time for our intermission, the Monokuma Theater. Before we move on with this, well, we're in the intermission right now. I would like to thank our sponsor for this podcast, Absolutely No One, because this is our first episode.
This podcast is sponsored by... Where's the place? Store?
Just give us an app. Sponsor us.
This...
Raid Shadow Legends!
Not Raid Shadow Legends. This podcast is sponsored by Obey Me, Shall We Date? Anime Otome Dating Sim.
What info do you want to know about the game? You don't. Please don't install the game. They're not even paying us for this.
What if the characters could be by your side, laugh and cry together with you? That sounds dumb.
Yeah, that sounds dumb. We don't want to be promoted by them. We don't want to sponsor them.
In that case, let's be sponsored by Prison Empire Tycoon.
Let's be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. But yeah, this is our first episode.
This episode is sponsored by Sudoku.
Sudoku. How does this first episode feel for you over there, Fox?
It feels kind of wacky.
It is whack. We have no idea what we're doing right now because this is the first time any of us have done a podcast. If you're familiar with my YouTube channel, I'm used to doing reviews and stuff, but not with this man over here.
Yeah. All right. Is it time for us to get back to it?
No.
It's not been enough time.
There's one more thing I want to say in the intermission. So obviously this is our first episode, so probably a lot of people want to know what we're going to do. Really just talk about stuff we're planning to also talk about bands, their discography, kind of put them in a battle arena, see theoretically which album we perform more. Why did I say theoretically? There's no theory behind it.
Yes,
but
game theory.
The band we're planning to talk about is Sabaton for this quote-unquote season. And we're going to have a very special interview with Fox over here in the wonderful world of Flaming Fantasy.
Flaming Fantasy is a masterpiece.
You'll know more about that in our third episode, which is going to come up soon. But yes, if there's anything you want us to talk about, don't leave a comment because this is on Spotify.
It's also going to be on YouTube. so they can't
Oh
like
yeah,
comment
if there's
theoretically.
anything you want to talk about, as long as it's not in the realm of politics, because we don't get into that, just let us
Religion is
know. And
a-okay. We could talk
what is?
about which religion is correct and which one is incorrect.
Let's stop that conversation right there, and let's get right back into the talk. The next kind of thing we're talking about is something that's exclusive to the game, I guess, which is the confidants and the characters and their
Yes.
interactions with each other.
What do you think of Joker as a protagonist?
I thought I liked I kind of like the idea of him being his own person, but also being who you want him to be. I liked that idea.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, you know what I mean?
Man's
like,
flashy.
Yes, I like the design of him too. I like really all the characters, not any except Rutabaga. I don't like Rutabaga.
Which one's Rutabaga?
I told you we had this conversation the other day. It's Futaba. That's what I call Futaba, Rutabaga.
How are they supposed to know Rutabaga is Futaba?
If you don't know the inner workings of the mind, then it's your fault for not getting the inside joke that is only between us. You don't even get it.
Right.
And it's between us.
Joker is flashy. Ryuji is a bro. Ryuji is cool.
Ryuji's like a... Yeah, he's a bro. He's the he's the Chewbacca to your Han Solo, if you will, except he's not a furry Wookiee and he uses actual language.
Speaking of furry Wookiees, Morgana.
I wasn't a fan, but like no one likes Morgana. Whose favorite character is Morgana? Name one person. You can't.
Morgana.
Morgana's like Daxter from Jack and Daxter's. Like they're the annoying furry critter that talks for you because your protagonist doesn't want to talk.
Pretty much. Morgana did his job well. Man,
what about
Anne
Takemaki?
Anne
Takamaki.
She's cool. She's chilled. Fan service a bit too much.
Yeah, well, I don't think. What other? Wait, was Morgana? Oh no, Morgana and Haru. I forgot. I thought for a second her and Makoto were the only female characters, but no. There's also the one in
Haru's
Royal.
a dude. What are you talking about?
that image I sent you the other day of the cursed person. Look up if you want to have a good time. Look up Persona 5 cursed images. It's hilarious. That's what we're using for the cover of this one. It's a Kamoshida Farquaad.
Let's talk about Kamoshida.
Oh God, he's obviously one of the bosses. I liked I like the idea of like all the bosses, like them having done something to one of the characters in one way or another, and how most of the time them introducing a new character was through the villain.
Yeah, that was epic.
Although like Madarame is a little weird because he's something like I didn't actually believe, and they didn't do the greatest job of showing it. Really.
Yeah.
Yusuke really said there is no painting. Take off your clothes.
No painting.
No, I was playing that when I was playing that section with Yusuke, it was like when he's at like the studio like getting ready to draw, and I was like it wasn't at her yet. I was like, God, my parents are home, please no one walk in, and then turns through like the layers of clothes. I laughed so hard at that. I like fell out of my chair because I was like, oh God, they're gonna walk in and see it, and I just fell on the floor laughing. I was like, you did it, Persona 5, you did it.
Honest dummy thick.
It was I also liked Makoto, although her nuclear damage does nothing. Like they're getting nuked.
Makoto's more of a support character.
Really, I never used her. I guess I did come to think of it. I used her as a support character.
She's a lot of healing and like defense
I forgot about that. I never used the buffs. I realized that. I was like I would watch people do like Let's Plays. I see them use Joker to like buff all the characters and stuff. Because my A team was
buffs are broken in any Persona game.
Yeah, my A team was Joker, obviously, Ryuji, Yusuke, and Makoto. And yeah, I forgot. I used the Kechi while you.
Yeah, so
I honestly did. He had a lightsaber. Man's had a lightsaber.
It's over, Joker. I have the high ground.
You underestimate my persona.
Bang.
But yeah, I forgot that she was a support character. I forgot I used her for healing. That's what I did. That was my strategy for beating Shido. Just have Ryuji, Yusuke, and just Joker nonstop attacking him, and then Makoto just using her group heal. I forgot about that. Who else was there? I almost never used Haru, if I'm being honest.
I used all the party members in Royal, and I never touched Haru in the original. You don't need to.
It was like Yeah, because I
honestly.
feel like by the time you get her, she's not that good. Like the only thing she has is SP, is Psych. That's what it's called.
Psychic skills and gun stuff.
Yeah, but everyone has a gun, and I think the only time I used her was if I needed her crit ability. The
One
gun,
shot,
like
one
whatever.
shot kill or something. Yeah, one shot.
Yeah, that one.
That's
And
fine.
but I never needed her for psychokinesis because I always had Joker able to have one.
Yeah. Honestly,
It
they
was
could
like,
have just. I only use Haru if all my other party members have no mana.
yeah, that's pretty much me too. If I wanted to use the one shot for the crit, that's the only time I'd really use her. And then Goro Akechi I used whenever I could because he's Goro Akechi.
Sad you only
I
get him for
thought
one palace.
his character, in my opinion, was like my favorite.
Yeah, he's mine too. Goro Ketch is
Just because
great.
like
Actually, that's
you
a
said
lie.
he's
That is a lie. There are two characters that are better than Goro Kechi. The gay guys who hit on Ryuji.
oh my god. That was a really that was a really that was funny. Goro Akechi was obviously my favorite character because
So-
I like the way you said he was handled even better in Royal. I can't say because I haven't
Oh,
played
yeah.
Royal, but I thought the way he was handled too was really well. And him inevitably actually I really liked him kind of sacrificing himself, quote unquote.
Quote, unquote.
Was it canon? If did he die in like the original? Like is that canon?
Okay, they don't
Or,
even
like-
answer that in Royal. I'm not gonna lie. He's on this like weird limbo of alive or not alive. I think the
That's
story is better if he is dead. Because it adds
yeah, because I kind of like the idea, and the idea of like him being in that palace is like just purely what Shido sees him as was actually very interesting to me. I like that. That's how he went out. So that's all the confidence we talked about really. What character goes in what tier? I'd say Joker goes in. He's really whatever you want him to be. So I just say A tier.
A tier is fine. Ryuji is also A. Yusuke
Yeah,
is S.
Yusuke's S.
An
Yusuke's
is
S.
An's also A. Makoto's also
Yeah.
A. Haru is a C. Not
Yeah,
higher
and then
thing. Morgana's a B.
Goro Kechi.
Goro
What's like the high? What's the highest ranking we can put someone?
We can, I don't know, S or SS.
SSSSS plus. That's
Maybe
where Goro Kechi goes.
Goro Kechi's just at the top.
The best video game character ever. So now let's get into, I guess, the last little bit, locations or bosses, which we've already touched upon, really. As I said, I really like the locations and how, like, imaginative they were and how that's how each of them viewed wherever, like, they were. Like, Kamoshida viewing the school as his castle, Madarame viewing it as his museum, Kaneshiro viewing it as his bank.
Imagine if Kamoshida was a teacher at Hogwarts. How much would the castle have changed? Would have been like this giant conglomerate of like...
You're talking about his palace, right?
Yeah, would Kamoshida's palace have been like a country if he worked at Hogwarts?
Would it be a castle? Would he see the castle as his castle?
I mean,
That's a weird thought. I think you've just discovered like something scientists need to answer now.
Because Hogwarts is like a big castle.
Yeah, it's a big castle, but like with traps, but with that, you've given me a lot to think about.
Yeah. Add that to the mysteries. That's
Add that to our mysteries.
Alright,
Let's
what else?
and I liked-
Museum was cool.
bosses. The only bosses like I liked all of them except
Madarame.
yeah, Madarame, and I wasn't the biggest fan of how many phases Shido has. Like you think you get him, and he's like, "I'm back."
I'm strong.
It took me an hour and a half on his fight.
Oh boy.
Like, I was texting you that whole time. I'm not sure if you remember that.
I do remember.
Is he dead yet?
No.
Like he one-shot me the first time too. Like the first attack he ever did, like a one-shot us. I was like, that's nice to know.
Yeah, the final boss has two phases. Well, two phases. Yeah, two. One is like 10 minutes. The other is an hour.
Nice.
It's
That
a,
would
it is a good final boss.
the Goro Akechi fight took me like an hour or two because I thought I beat him. I was like, that wasn't too bad. And then he was like, oh, time to take out the mask. I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. I actually fully accepted that I was gonna die and have to restart the whole thing. And I don't know what happened. Just the order got just right to the point. I think he had a weakness you could exploit, and I did that. And I
do
think
not
it happened to line up
remember.
perfectly to the point where I could, I think, revive Makoto or something like that. Revive someone and just go all out on the attack and annihilate him, and it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah. Goro did
But I
nothing
think that's-
wrong.
He really, I mean, other than killing innocent people by causing shutdowns, no.
Yeah. Other
Other than murder, no, he didn't really do anything. Just we need to have that debate. Did Goro Akechi do anything wrong?
No, Goro's innocent. He's a good boy.
Good. He's a good boy, but yeah, I guess I also I kind of like the idea of Akumura like being like once you get past his minions, he's nothing.
Yeah, no, it's very thematic.
Yeah, I thought that was made a lot because I knew that was gonna happen too. I was like, we're gonna have to fight him now, and like, but like putting the time limit on the fight was like, it should have added stress, but I'm happy it didn't.
It adds stress in Royal. Trust me, it adds stress in Royal.
Don't say that. But like it was like
fuck that boss in Royal. I hate the Okumura fight, the new one.
Because I was like
I hate
I was
it more
like,
than
oh,
Madarame. I hate it more than the
oh
original Madarame.
that's saying a lot, man. But like what was I saying? I completely lost my train. Oh, okay, yeah, because the countdown that I was like, this is gonna be really stressful. It was like I was down to the last thing and his last minions. I had like 15 minutes left. I was like, oh, this is going to be easy, in the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, and then I beat him like. He killed me once, I think, because like the minions used self-destruct and it knocked out like Makoto or someone, so I couldn't heal and I accepted him. Or maybe it just killed Joker. I can't remember honestly.
Joker died.
All I know is Kamashita didn't kill me, or he almost did, because that was the first fight. And when I had Morgana go do the sneaky thing, because that's who I had sent.
Oh, really? It's just
I didn't.
Ryuji.
No, because I was like Ryuji did too much damage, but like
Yeah, but the others just have healing, so you can keep you alive.
True, but I realized I had On do that, I think, but no, he was weak to fire. I forgot what
He was not
weak
to fire.
I thought he was.
I'm
I'm just dumb.
Oh, you're thinking of the toilet demon.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the toilet demon.
You're thinking of the demon that's just taking a shit.
But no, because I sent Morgana out and I was like, okay, and he kept doing like really devastating attacks, and I kept having to heal, but I didn't realize that if you didn't keep attacking him, he'd be like, wait a minute, someone's missing here.
Wait a minute.
Like I was like, and then Morgana got sent back, and then I tried to send out Anne twice, and I realized, oh, that doesn't work with her.
Huh.
That was no, what was really stressful was doing the Sai Nijima fight when it was when you had to send someone out and then predict where it would be.
Oh my god, that was cool.
Like the I know, but like the amount of stress that fight aged me 3 years.
But then she turned into chainsaw.
When she went berserk mode, I was like, okay, this is gonna be fine. And then she just one-shot my entire party, and then I did it again, and I was so careful. I was like, I think I actually died to it twice. I can't remember, and I had to look it up. I'm like, what do I do here?
Maybe if you used buffs.
Well, that's what I realized. Because everyone I was watching used like a bunch of defense buffs. I was like, oh, maybe I should do that. Oh wait, no, I just every time I forge a new persona, I take every ability but the buffs. And then I realized that after that, and I kept a persona around that I would always have used buffs. Used to have buffs, but I never really used them because I didn't get to the end of the game. But yeah, I think for the most part, the locations and bosses are imaginative designed with. Yeah. Although I didn't like how each boss had the same music, really.
Until Shido.
Yeah, but like it was good music, but like I wish there was a.
Yeah, that's just normal Persona stuff.
But it's not too much of a gripe, especially when soundtrack is so great. So is there anything else we can add to locations?
To locations and bosses, the final boss of the original is great, and the final boss of Royal is really, 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 really good.
Well, what's better, great or really, 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 really good? Which one is better?
Really, Royal is better, by far.
Oh, okay. You could have just said that.
I could have just said Royal is better.
Yeah, you didn't need to add the decades of confusion, but yes, that's our thoughts on Persona 5, and by that I mean our scattered thoughts followed by like 5 minutes of banter.
Woo!
That's what this was. So after all this talk of Persona 5, has the question been answered? I think it has been. Is Meatball and Fruit? We can't confirm. Fruit. Yes, Meatball is and Fruit.
And now the outro.
Yes, outro. So thank you all for listening in. If you did, you probably didn't get this far because we're incompetent. Yeah. But yeah, be sure to stick around because in a few days we'll be uploading our next episode of Podcast Soundscape, where we will be discussing some of our mutual favorite bands. In this case, Sabaton, discussing their albums and our thoughts on them. Basically, just putting them against each other. If you're familiar with my channel, pretty much just talking about that. I've already reviewed those albums. So if you want to watch that, go ahead and do that. But yeah, thank you for listening into our podcast. If you have this far, what are your thoughts on this, Fox?
I think.
He thinks, therefore he is.
Yeah, I had fun. Good times had by all.
This is a fun podcast to make. We'll be out with more episodes soon that you can enjoy and waste your time with, because this is terrible.
Oh
But
yeah.
oh yeah, thank you. We've been your Zach Martin, and
Fox Lopez.
so yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next episode.